Well, I gave him 10% of the blame because he's a superstar, Skip, and you have to take some accountability. The job didn't get done. But I don't really know what else you can ask of him, Skip. He gave you 34, 15, and 7. He's the first player to have 200 points, 100 rebounds, 50 assists in a series. And he's doing against the best defensive team in all of basketball. And so we knew the likelihood of him shooting a high percentage because they got a lot of big, long, athletic guys that can bother him. They run a lot of different guys. Okay, Al Horford, you start on him. Grant Williams, we're going to give you a crack at him also. Hey, Tice, come in and give us 6-7 minutes. We want you to bother him also. Even though the last 3 or 4 games, Skip, they didn't have Robert Williams, but early on they even threw Robert Williams at him. Then you got Tatum, you got Brown, you got Marcus Smart, who's constantly digging at the ball. As soon, like you said, they did a great job of building the wall. They did a great job, but undeterred. I'm gonna give Giannis a lot of credit, Skip. He was undeterred by that. He see the wall, yeah, he got a bunch of charges, but he's like, I got to get to the rim. And he's trying to get to the rim, and he's like, you know what? Okay, I got 3 guys on me. Let me kick it. Kick it to Wesley Matthews, who gave me 1 of 5 yesterday, 0 for 3. Let me kick it to Grayson Allen, 0 for 6, 0 for 4. And I guess he didn't read my tweet. Somebody should have read my tweet. I said, Bud, you better get Grayson Allen out of there. You're not at Duke anymore, bro. You trying to take the game over. He jacking up shots, air balls, bricking, and you look at the other side. Skip, I'm trying to figure, I bet you Grant Williams hadn't taken 22 shots in the last 5 years. And he damn sure ain't taken 18 three-point shots. So if I tell you, Skip, you know what? Guess what? Grant Williams gonna take 18 threes. You go like, they gonna lose.
Yep.
But that's what the game plan called for. Skip, the first game, they took 53s. I was like, you can't beat this team taking 53s. And Udoka says, well, with all that size they got, we can't challenge them inside. The 3 gonna be wide open. And they did a great job of sometimes the 3 might have been contested. They get 1 swing, it's a wide open 3. Or they swing it again, and it's an even better look at a 3. I'm going to give the Boston Celtics credit. They did an unbelievable job. And if you get Jason, because Friday night, Skip, you got Tatum gave you 46, who matched Giannis. Giannis 44 and 20. But then you got Marcus Smart, and then you got Brown, who also gave you 20, and Giannis didn't get anybody to come along with him. Now Sunday, you get Tatum, who did most of his damage in the first half, and then you get Grant Williams all of a sudden turning to Steph Curry. He couldn't miss. Peyton Pritchard comes up off the bench and talk about this what I do. What? That's his skill with his skill. One team was like 433, the other team was 22 or 53. You let a team hit 22 threes and you only make 4, you're losing that game. And they lost in the fashion in which they lost because once the second half rolled around, the game wasn't even close in the second half. It wasn't even close. I mean, it was like 5-point lead at the halftime, and next thing you know, it's 15, and they tried to fight uphill, and then it was 15, 20, 25, 30, and it ended up, I think, like 28 points. But the game was really never that close in the second half, and that's what happened. The better team, you know what? The better player is Giannis. The better team, and I should have, look, after the demolition job that they put together, Skip, against 2 of the greatest offensive forces that we've seen on one team, and they couldn't get a game, we should have given the credit. But I just thought, I said, you know what, Giannis would be enough. But they needed Middleton. They needed that other guy, Skip, because they really couldn't get consistent production from that third guy. Yeah, Holiday played a little better yesterday. He didn't shoot the greatest percentage. He was only, 9 of 21? But he was 0 of 6 from 3. That won't get it done against this team.
Okay, it is now my turn. I have had to sit over here for day after day after day after day after day, all season long. It may have gone back 3 seasons for all I can remember, and had to hear you talk about how Giannis is the best player on the planet. And I assume you still think he is the best player.
I do absolutely think he's the best player.
Okay, what I just witnessed was Boston just knocked off its 2nd straight best player on the planet off his throne or his pedestal, because they did it to KD and they just did it to Giannis, because you can throw all those big numbers at me that you want to throw. All I know is Giannis, for the 7 games, shot 46% from the floor.
Yeah.
By his standards, that is atrocious, because I remind you, against Phoenix last year in the finals, he shot 62% because mostly it was Solo 8 on him.
They didn't build a wall.
62% versus 46%.
Yeah.
His three-point shooting would have its moments, but it fell way off because he ended up making only 25%. He was 7 of 28. It's just not good enough. It's not best player on the planet.
But Skip, you can be the best player and not be great at a particular thing. You make it seem like unless you're great at every particular category, rebounding, stealing the basketball, blocking shots, three-point shots, free throws, you can't be the best player. Okay, yeah, KD, all that stuff look good. The three-point shot, the mid-range game. But at what? So what if the ball looks good going in? Kevin Durant can't get downhill like Giannis. He can't post like Giannis.
Well, many times Giannis couldn't post like Giannis, especially in yesterday's second half. But I continue. He averaged in 7 games 5 turnovers a game. It's just too many. It's hard to win and overcome 5 a game. And then to your point about offensive fouls, Giannis charges more than a Tesla. Seriously, he just does. He just charges and charges. They call about 2/3 of them, and they let another third of them just go. He wound up with 9 offensive fouls in this series, but he wound up with 21 for the playoffs. 21. Jason Tatum is second on that list in this year's playoffs at 11, and the 21 overall ties the all-time record set by Dwight Howard back in 2009. Remember the run to the finals?
Right.
When he also had 21, but Dwight had 21 in 23 games. Giannis had 21 in 12 games.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. I'm going to say it again. Dwight had 21 in 23. Giannis had 21 in 12.
Yeah.
So to me, the problem with the best player on the planet is their offense often degenerates into him bringing the ball up the floor, because 2/3 of the time yesterday, he would just bring the ball up the floor.
Yeah, it's him or Holiday. That's all they got.
Because he can build up a head of steam. He can get, as you say, downhill, and he just goes crashing down the lane, and one of about 5 things are going to happen. Either he's going to charge, or he's going to get a defensive foul called,
right,
or he's going to have a wild miss or a wilder turnover, or he's going to get a lay-in, layup, or dunk at the end of it, right? So one of those things is going to happen, and too often in the second half, mostly bad happened, because in the second half yesterday...
But he missed some easy ones in the second half that he normally makes.
All right, but are you the best player on the planet? Because this is Game 7 at Boston, where, by the way, you had already won 2 games, right? So it's not impossible. So it's a 5-point game, as you said, at halftime. Well, that's not undoable.
No, yeah.
And in the second half, he goes 4 of 16 from the floor. But worse, he was 1 of 10 on contested shots in the second half. And maybe just as bad, he was 3 of 11 in the paint. 3 of 11?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to bottom line this at he gets 75% of Milwaukee's blame, because he's the best player on the planet. And I have to gauge him, judge him, rank him with the bar set at the very top, according to Shannon Sharp. So I'm going to give him 75% of the blame, because he's the quote-unquote best player on the planet.
But, Skip, at some point in time, doesn't other guys have to come along with him? Skip, the days.
Unfortunately, he didn't go along to start it.
But here's the thing. The days of one player dragging the teams are too talented now. It does not matter. We saw Luka putting up 40. But if other guys don't come along, we saw Luka last year against your Clippers. When other guys don't come along, nobody is talented enough now. The league is too good. The players are too good to let one player beat them over the course of a series. So you're right. They started contesting shots, and he missed a lot of shots that he normally wouldn't make.
Could we see those shots, please? Because he missed 12 shots in the second half. I want to drive home the point of how low degree of difficulty these shots were, right? Because these are the shots that you just, okay, this first one was the 3, and it was a little short left. And then here he goes. This is the one where, hold on.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
What? That's a bunny.
Yeah, he never missed those.
Wait, was this Easter Sunday? Because I'm seeing bunnies galore. Bunny miss, bunny, that's building the wall. That was just a bad idea and a force. And then he thought about the 3, and he spins, and I'm thinking, that's a bunny miss.
Yeah, he missed some ones that, and he said it.
Mid-range
shots that
short.
I normally would make.
Yep. Mid-range, downhill, here we go. Left-handed layup, missed everything. That missed the rim. Giannis?
He missed that shot.
But bunnies everywhere. Let's build a hutch. Bunnies.
Too hard.
Oh, that was a brick. Giannis, easy. Whoops. Giannis, easy, take it easy. Now this is desperation, and it's long.
Yeah.
Okay, that was his second half of 12 misses, 4 of 16 shots. Well, if he makes his bunnies, I don't know, it puts a lot more pressure on Boston's home shooters.
Yeah, Skip, but I still don't believe that. I think with the way the game was going, yeah, he'd have had a more impressive stat line. The percentage it wouldn't have been 10 of 26. It probably been 15 of 27. But I don't know. Skip, this notion. We look at Shaq. Let's take Shaq from 99 to 2000. Shaq was the best player. Nobody said, well, Shaq ain't got no mid-range game. Nobody said Shaq can't shoot free throws. Nobody said Shaq couldn't make threes. They said he was the best player. And he was.
He was.
But now, with Giannis, oh, he can't shoot threes. Or he's a terrible free throw shooter. It's like we look for reason not to give the man the credit that he's rightfully deserved. Nobody has an impressive resume over the last 4 years. He's a back-to-back champion. He's a defensive player of the year. He's a finals MVP. Nobody can say they've had that on their resume and wasn't anointed the best player. He did not shoot the ball with 46%. Hell, I didn't think he would shoot that high, given the degree of difficulty that Boston defense makes it upon him. I thought he'd be in the low 40s. But for him to shoot 46%, given what he was going up against, and considering basically it was him and Holiday. If it was like, okay, Holiday, you go. It's your turn right now. I'm tired right now, bro.
I give you that. I give you Chris Middleton. I've told you, Chris Middleton, unfortunately for your case, is the closer on that team, and they didn't have their closer. And Giannis, if we go back a game,
Game 6
or 2 games ago, he made some huge threes, and I give him credit for that because he was trying to be the closer in Game 5, and he pretty much pulled it off.
Right.
But in the end, if you are the best player on the planet, which I do not believe ever that he was, then you have to close that deal by yourself. And he just couldn't do it. He came up